Speaking freedom, giving you the answers to be free.
We use the client to develop, to grow, and to bring out the best in themselves. We are simply a tool to help you learn how to make better decisions. Not just one decision, not just today, but for the rest of your life. Encouraging each person through each trial and tribulation.
Work call. Yeah, man. Gotta go in here and dance, but I don't get that.
Okay, hey y'all. I am in my office. I am building some classes or whatnot. And I wanted to do this video because over the weekend they have released a video of T.I. talking about his I don't want to say disdain, but his disagreements or his view of church as a business. You know, spiritual human behavior, and all of my books are non-religious based because I believe that church is a business. I've definitely just written a book that is available for pre-order right now called Oops, I Joined a Cult and Didn't Know It, The Business of Religion, and it breaks down how religious churches are a business. So T.I. explained that he sees it as that, and that having a relationship with God himself is, what he prefers, which a lot of people do. So I wanted to kind of get on here before I go to my appointment in a few. And I might need to go get some water. So I wanted to get on here and just kind of give you a better understanding about church and the business of religion. Now give me a second. Is there water here or no? I think there might be, but it's frozen though. Okay. Lord, I need something to drink. I'll just do this water. Now, I'm probably gonna just start the whole video over, okay? But here we go. So I'm doing this video because I wanted to talk about the difference between church and religion. I also wanted to kind of, because all churches aren't bad, and I think I talked about this in another video, but all churches aren't bad. There are a lot of places that can help give you the spiritual structure that you need for your journey with God and the Holy Spirit. Now I do want to just say that I do believe in Christ. I do not believe that we are supposed to idolize Jesus. I believe that he came and was a lived embodiment experience of God's spirit on earth. And he gave us the blueprint. He walked out how it's supposed to be, and he was persecuted, called blasphemous, and all those other things by the church of that time. So listen, I think the church can be good. It can help you gain the understanding, knowledge, structure, and general awareness of God, how to hear from God, how to assess things in the Bible as learning tools along your journey so that you feel supported on a spiritual level. I do believe that a lot of the structure, even as I watch an associate friend girl go through theology school, they teach the Bible, but they only teach the sections that they want you to, So a lot of times what I have learned and noticed and come to the awareness of is that there is a structure in which theologians are taught to teach the Bible. And this is what separates the wheat from the tares, because literally they learn a lot. This particular person, she is definitely learning a lot. And from the way it was described, learning to be a pastor or a teacher or an educator in the field, which is great. However, when you only learn and you focus on the sections of the Bible that move people, then you actually miss out on the depth of the word. And so I saw somebody else comment and was, trying to correct it about church hurt and all of that. And this person is a newer believer. And, just the whole schematics of the pressure to be of a religion versus to have a relationship with God is something that does not sit right with me. And I believe that a portion of what I am called to do is not necessarily turn people away from church, but help them learn the truth so that they get free from the strongholds of religion, because there are some definite strongholds of religion. And then so I comment to the person, hey, it's so much stuff you can learn about God outside of the Bible, because in church they teach you cannot look outside of the Bible. And God says, seeking you will find, and the truth will set you free. Knocking, the doors will be open. So if all of those are the cases and the things that God said, then I am not limiting myself to the threshold that makes other people comfortable. So where I think a lot of people that's in church, they get indoctrinated. And believe me, I was in church for 6 years. I still today love the leadership of the church. And I learned that basically they're just doing what they were taught. It's almost like train up a child the way he should go. But how are you training them up though? You know what I'm saying? Like, so when people come into church to become ministers, they are normally discipled. They follow the leadership. They may be an armor bearer or something like that. And they come in, they go to some type of training school and or whatever the case may be. And then through that church, they learn the structure of the Bible. Hopefully they learn the whole structure of the Bible. They learn hopefully they learn the foundations of the Bible and the church. And then they learn what to preach on. They are told to give sermons. Their job is to give sermons that move people and that help them in different ways. It's so funny because I just watched a movie called Church People. It was so freaking good because it was a guy in leadership at a church. He was a youth pastor, but he was an older guy. And so they had created this hype around him, which was cool with him as long as it was edifying God. So then they started adding extra stuff, like they made it a circus, and he was like, look, I don't want to be a part of the circus. And then the church itself went as far as wanting to literally crucify a person in front of other people, as a way to identify with Christ or with Jesus or whatever the goddamn, you know what I mean? So the person that was the youth pastor, he was like, I don't want to do this no more. This is not even about God no more. This is a circus. This is a show. And that is how church really goes. The truth is, the other day I was at Morris Brown's Christmas concert at a church. And I was like, man, the old church, they used to let anybody in the choir, but voices off, no harmonization, just Get in there and sing if you feel it in your shanana. But when you look at the newer churches and the environments that are presented, literally it is a performance. They're hiring musicians, they're hiring sometimes the people that's in the choir, they doing auditions. It's like a paid performance. It should be great, but it should be more focused of as unto God than it is as to get people in their feelings and in their emotions and all of those things. So what a lot of people who attend church, even people that are in ministerial roles within churches, or leadership positions within the organization, a lot of the times they don't see the business side of it. Fortunately, at my church, when I was a part of the church, I helped them move and start a new location in a different city, in a different state. And I was led by God to go. The doors just opened. Everything just worked out. It was the only bad thing is where the house was in comparison to where the church ended up being. But it was everything that we needed, where I got support while I was pregnant and baby showers. It was just, everything was right. I'm telling you, like, it was crazy. But we moved to help. And in that move and in that helping, I saw the making of church. I saw the marketing, the tactics used in business being used in church, and the forefront of what was going on, not in a bad way. And I'm not trying to make excuses for the person either, but the forefront of what was going on was bring the attention based on the person versus the attention based on God. And the more I saw it, the less I liked it. But not only that, it was the other things that go on in business that went on in church. Backbiting, gossiping, leadership against other parts of leadership, and they, you know what I'm saying, clashing, or it was the business of religion. So when I say I joined a cult and I didn't know it, I'm not talking about the church I was in. I'm not talking about the leadership at that church, because the more I prayed about it, the more I thought about it, the more I went over it within my mind and asked God for his understanding, then I realized that, guess what? The pastor that I was under was also under a pastor who approved him going in and doing this church the way he's doing it. And then guess what? That pastor normally has a pastor, and then they have a leadership board, and then they're going all the conferences together, and they're learning how to do it. Is the same system that we see in multi-level marketing. It is the same system that we see in a lot of these scammy type of industries, where they build you up to sell you something, and then you got to buy this big ass goddamn, you know what I mean, and then you got to keep giving in order for it to work. It's the business of religion. And a lot of people, again, if you aren't on the business side, if you don't see how the structure works, if you don't know how it's set up, if you've never tried to start or went and got educated on running a 501c3, then you might not understand. If you don't understand how the tax exemptions work, and the compliances that you have to be in order to get them in the first place. And the reason why so many businesses are changing their DEI standards, because if you don't comply, your business will die. And if you don't do what they say, then they can take away any exemption, any things that say that you're special, basically, because a 501c3 is not what tells them that you can operate. You can operate as a business without a 501c3. You can start a ministry and just have ministry and not get the 501c3 and still have the impact that you're going to have. But the 501c3 tells the government, hey, don't tax me, I'm special. And as long as I do what the government say I could do, say what the government say I could say, be in compliance to whatever the government say about this type of business structure with this 501c3, then they kind of got control over me. That means, I think recently it might have changed, but generally speaking, you can't talk about politics. You can't do certain things. I mean, and it changed recently, I believe, but it's a lot of middle management and micromanagement of the organization by the government. So it's like, if I put a little money in your pocket, then you play the way I want you to play. And this is the business of religion. This is how all nonprofits work. Well, not all nonprofits. There are some nonprofits that are private, so they have more control over their business structure, their commentary. If you're getting funding from the government, then the government can tell you what the goddamn, you know what I mean? And if you are getting the tax exemption that is controlled by the government, then they can control what you say. So you can't just say and move and do what you want to do. And that is the business of religion. What a lot of people on the outside, they only see the preacher preaching, the teachers teaching, the ushers doing their part, the musicians playing. They don't see, and this is, again, this is not even about the personal lives of the leadership and the things, the challenges, the normal human challenges that they have, the normal things that they go through. We are strictly and specifically talking about the business of religion. And this is why when people become ministers, one, it's a general line of scriptures that they always gonna teach and speak, and a general line of understanding and words, and it is a standard in the religious community of what you can speak on, what you can teach on, and what is acceptable, literally, to start booking speaking gigs, shows, and all of that. A lot of times people who don't teach along the lines of whatever, is accepted by the church demographic, then if it's not accepted, then they're not gonna get no shine. You're not gonna get no big platform. So you play into especially right now, the social media kind of frenzy of going viral, saying the right things and all of those things. And it's not wrong to utilize the system that is currently in motion in order to get to where, as far as social media, marketing tactics and all of that. But the grand scheme of things, and the reason why the 501c3 works, is because as long as you give, they get to write it off. The moment that you stop giving, there's no income. It's the business of religion. So the way it is preached and taught, and the way that the leaders learn, is that the tithe is the connection to your blessing. So as long as you tithe, the longer you're going to be blessed. If you stop tithing, If you stop paying that weekly, monthly, bi-weekly premium, then God stops working. And as long as you believe that, then literally your life will manifest it. So a lot of the things that people don't understand when it comes to the business of religion is because they are not on the inside of the business portion. They only see what appears to be spiritual, and it can be spiritual. There is definitely the Spirit of God in a lot of places. There is the gathering of souls who possess certain energy that when they all are in the praise, worship, and in alignment with the Spirit, then guess what? There is going to be miracles, signs, and wonders. It's going to follow the people. The actual church that's described in the Bible is the person. So the signs and wonders follow the people. So of the people there, and they're all in spiritual alignment, they're all worshiping at the same time, they're all praising at the same time, they're all communing at the same time. And I'm not talking about communion, although that too. If they're all on the same wavelength, then the energy levels rise. And when the energy level rise, you see the signs and wonders and the miracles of God. Now I have to get ready to go. So I want to end the video, but I don't. But I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to go do what I need to go do. And then I am going to come back with a part 2 if I can figure out some more I need to say about it. Have a good day.
Long ago, and never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live what I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all inside of me is sexuality.
Thank you for joining Speaking Freedom as we continue to assist you with your daily growth and intuitive wisdom. Loving is a lifestyle and we love to love. Inspiration is how we fuel faith. Please join us daily for your inspiration and motivation.
We have the entire world to offer you at your fingertips. Your life enhancement coaching specialist. Thank you for choosing us to assist you in accomplishing your personal and professional goals. And have a beautiful day. In love, we trust. This is brought to you by Good Head Group, Love Gang, and Speaking Freedom. We thank God for you, and we love you.